Howdy folks, when we last parted with you, we had departed Coral Pink Sand Dunes State Park, did some leg stretches at historic stops, pondered coffee, and we're making a long trek up to the Great Salt Lake where we're camping for the night at Antelope Island State Park, where we will pick up today. All right, I'm stopping right here in front of Interstate 15. I'm gonna actually just take the GoPro off the roof. Probably a very pretty drive, but I don't like driving on interstates with the GoPro mounted on the top, especially these, because I think the speed limits out here are really fast. So what we'll probably end up doing is just taking it off. I got several hours to go, and if we see something interesting between now and Salt Lake, I'll film. Otherwise, I'm gonna catch you guys way up on the road. I'm inside Antelope Island State Park, about 2.5 miles from the campground, Bridger Bay Campground. I'm all checked in at the gate, and should be there soon here on the Great Salt Lake of Utah. Smells like a salt lake, that's for sure. I decided not to film at all on the interstate. It was all interstate. And once you get up near Provo, it's just, you know, looks like a city kind of, you know, all of the businesses, commercial, all of that. So I really didn't really feel like filming anything anyway. A lot of pretty mountains and stuff as you drive, but
in a quarter mile,
preferred not to do that.
Antelope Island Road, Bridger Bay Campground Road.
All right, looks like we're down that way actually. I think I can actually see the campground. I'm in Bridger Bay, site number 4 is where I'm staying. So I don't remember if it's a walk-in site. I don't think it is.
Turn right onto Antelope Island Road, Bridger Bay Campground Road.
We'll have to see what I did when I booked it. They had some like tent sites, but you have to walk. Not terribly far, but
Continue
still.
on Bridger Bay Campground Road for 3/4 of a mile.
At this point, I wanted a site that has like a little shade pavilion, and hoping that's what I booked. I don't know what site 4 is. But that should be Great Salt Lake right in front of us. My first visual sighting of it. The pictures made it look like the campground was closer to the shore, but it's way up on this hill here. But should give us a good view of it, I imagine. There's a road that goes down that way, but we want to go straight here to Bridger Bay Campground. Give you my first impressions when I see the site. So I want site 4.
In 1,000 feet, slide left to stay on Bridger Bay Campground Road.
And I'm just turning you off because you're already incorrect here, according to that sign I just passed. So looks like they have cabins up there too, like 2-story little cabins. It's pretty warm right now. I think it's another thing where it'll cool off, but eventually. I don't know, I guess it's one-way loop here, so. Actually, I guess this section is closer to the shore, like the pictures made it seem. It was just that area up there. I guess there's 2 different loops that I'm gonna have to film here for Campvue. I just don't know if it's the type of thing where you just can walk out there or not. I don't know anything about this park. But here we go with the site numbers. I see site number 1, 2, and 3 is probably on the left, and 4 is right here. Sweet, I did get one with a, thought I did. The tent ones look pretty cool. The only problem with this is really like lack of space for a tent. I can already see. We'll make it work, but a lot tighter than I thought. Anyway, we're here, and let me get out, stretch, take a breath, and we'll catch up a little bit. Standing in the shade of this covered pavilion here. Looking out at Salt Lake. Giant body of salt water here in the desert. I assume this is a desert. Feels like a desert. You can see the reflection kind of some of those mountains in the background there. And it's just, you know, just a lake. You wouldn't know it's salty, I'm sure, unless you tasted it. Doesn't smell as briny up here. There's a breeze, so it's a little bit more fresh over here, but man, I know it's only like 90 degrees here, but it feels much hotter here in the hottest part of the day. Ah, man, it is hot right here. One of my annoyances already with this campground is they did indicate that it's, you know, you can't have a tent. It's very favors RVs, I can tell, with these long pull-throughs, which is fine, except they don't really tell you. I mean, I'll be able to fit it in here, but this isn't really ideal. But I'll make it work. But I don't, you know, some of these campgrounds annoy me that do that, and when it's clearly an RV centric situation. But it'll be all right. We'll get her done. I think it's gonna be a quiet night too. I don't know if, I can't remember when I reserved. I think a lot of sites were open. There were reserved ones, but I'm the crazy one camping, especially in a tent this time of the year, I'm sure. Although at night, you know, these places, like last night at Coral Pink, I was cold in the middle of the night. I had a blanket, my sleeping bag, and I was still chilly. So it just goes to show you just gotta be patient, wait for the sun to go down, and it'll be all right. You know, don't think I'm making a fire tonight. I don't even know if they have fire restrictions here or not. Doesn't really matter. And then you got this this table, something kind of new. You don't really see that kind of thing in campgrounds. That would be handy, I guess, if you're grilling or something, or who knows, maybe you want to just sit on it bare bottomed in the hot sun if that's your thing. I don't know. Not for me. If someone was being bad, that would be their punishment. And then of course, sweet, sweet shade. I'm glad I selected one of these sites, because if I got one of the tent ones, I don't think they would have this little shade here. Normally I like to get the campground stuff set up, the camping stuff set up, but I think I'm gonna have to wait a couple hours or something and just let this cool off, and I'll probably mount the rest of my cameras and do my Campvue drive-through. So I'll plug that really quick. If you're wanting to camp here at Antelope Island here on Salt Lake, whether you're in a tent or RV, I'm gonna do a drive around the campground and do my usual thing, and we'll get eyes on all of the sites here, and it'll help you pick a site. So probably won't be releasing that by the time of this video because they're stacking up, but it'll be out pretty soon, I'm sure. So check back on Campvue. All right, let me get Slim set up for the campground drive-through, and I'm just gonna get it done. That'll be another thing off the list. And then we'll maybe try to explore a bit, kill some time, and let things cool off a bit. I think the sun doesn't set until like 9 around here. So we got plenty of daylight, so probably like 4 or 5 hours. Time to kill, I guess. Finished my Campvue drive-through. That was a pretty easy one to do. 64 sites, so pretty sizable campground. Let me turn the air conditioner down so you can hear me better. And I just came back to the campsite and got some excellent news. Expected excellent news, but nonetheless excellent news. And I have nobody to share it with right now, so I'm gonna share it with the camera and you guys. So I'm doing another drive-through, I guess, kind of. We're leaving the campground, so I guess you guys can see a little bit of it without the side views. The patented, it's not really patented, the Campvue treatment we're not giving you here. Anyway, it's way too hot. It was 94 degrees actually, hotter than I thought it was. It's now 93, so it dropped a degree, but I don't know what it is with this sun here on this lake, but it is brutal. So I need to wait like another hour at least before I set up the tent. I just don't got it in me. So we're going to explore Antelope Island a little bit. There's supposed to be bison here, among other things like pronghorn, and I don't know if we'll see anything, but we're just going to go for a little drive, an aimless drive, and but let me tell you about this really good news. Before I left for the trip, just several days before, I had a 6-month follow-up, post-cancer follow-up, where I met with an ENT basically, and they did a laryngoscopy. They stick a tube in your nose with a camera on it and look inside. Everything looked great. Haven't really mentioned it. And then what I've been waiting for, though, are the results of a specific blood test that I get as part of a research trial for this thing called NavDX. And you can look it up if you're interested. It has to do with the type of cancer I have, but basically what it does is it can detect tumor DNA that gets shed into your bloodstream if you have an active tumor inside with this type of cancer, and it acts as an early warning system. So basically, like, you get PET scans, right? If you have cancer, all sorts of cancers, I'm sure that's par for the course. This is kind of on top of that, and it's legit research. You should look it up if you've never heard of this. But basically, this thing can detect things way before even imaging is supposed to be able to see it, like a PET scan. And the best news of all is that it has a very high positive predictive value of basically if you're in remission and how things are going to go. And I've told you before that the type of cancer I had is a very treatable one, although the treatment was brutal. I had a good prognosis of about 90% success. And with this test, though, depending on who you ask, if you ask ChatGPT, it looks up the research, and people are starting to think that at this point, like 6 months in with each successive test, my chance of recurrence is very low. ChatGPT is saying less than 1% chance. My doctor, who I just talked to, I said if I get another negative test, which I just got the test results, surprise, surprise, that's what we're talking about. She said that if I got another one, she would put me like at 95% chance that I won't have recurrence with this thing. So they're all good. If someone told me you go to Vegas and you can bet on black or red and have a 95% chance of winning, I think I'd bet the house on that. Maybe. So this is really good news, and I've been not horribly nervous because I had a better chance than not. I would say that I would have a good result here based on the other tests that I've been getting. You know, I've been getting these things every 3 months, so it was expected to be good, but you never know. It's cancer, right? So it doesn't mean that I am 100% in the clear, but you hear the stats, right? So hopefully you can understand why it's excellent news. I mean, it's really good news. I can believe it, but I can't believe it after all I've been through. So you guys, well, my wife, well, she knows because I texted her. I haven't talked to her yet, but, and you'll be seeing this weeks after I'm saying this, but there you go. For those of you that wanted a health update, got the best possible news I could get. And it's been great. Things are getting better every day. So that makes this trip that I'm on, and it's the very beginning of the trip, just my second day of a 3-week trip. It's just to get that relief, to get that news is just huge. So it makes this whole thing, there's a fly in here. I don't even have the words really. Other than it's freaking hot out here. Boy, is it hot. Anyway, enough about that. Let's explore. What do you say? I think what I want to do coming out of like the campground here is turn right, because if I go left, then I'm going back the way I came. There's a historic ranch somewhere though that might be cool to see. But we're gonna go to Buffalo Point. I'm guessing that's where the bison would be. With a name like Buffalo Point, I mean, come on. It's a pretty big park though, so I don't know. We might have a lot of driving, but it looks like we're going way uphill. And I wonder if they have drone permits here. I've seen people on YouTube flying drones here Doesn't mean that it's allowed. Some people break the rules. I do not. But I guess at this point, I don't even know where to go because the visitor center is under construction and whatever. And I wasn't really planning on having surplus time, but I do. So life is good. I'm gonna just go to this Buffalo Point. And I'm guessing this is it's called an island. I don't know how it's an island when you can drive onto it and there was no bridge. But apparently it's an island and you could see the water on the other side here. So that, I assume, is the Great Salt Lake. And maybe we'll get a good view and we'll just do some scenic driving here to kind of round off this episode, basically. First thing we'll do is look down to where I'm camping. There's like two different loops. The one up high has little cabins. It's very nice. And then I'm further down towards the shore. You could see an RV or two if you look carefully, but basically we're camping down there and we get a really good vantage point from up here of Antelope Island. Whew, still hot, but I'll be fine. There's like different trails here too. I don't think I'm up for a hike right now. I'm just in it for overlooks and chilling. After that good news, I mean, come on. I'm guessing the lake is kind of dried up. If it's like anywhere else and there's drought, I'm sure it has high times and low times, but to me it looks like that was probably underwater at some point. But they do have this little thing here. I'm still confused about this being an island. I need to find some signs that explain it to me. Here's a sign here, let's see. Oh wait, Lake Bonneville was the largest of, oh, I guess that was the name of the lake from the ice ages. I'm assuming what forms the Salt Lake today. You could actually see how high up the water was back then, like up on the side of that mountain there. It's a really neat landscape, just that like dead grass look. I wonder if it's always yellow or if it's green at times. And I think that's another one of the campgrounds down there. They have a couple primitive ones. Not really gonna film that one on Campvue. It looks like it's just a few sites, but it could be a good one. I mean, it kind of feels islandish because you have water on either side, but it's more like if you look at a map, it's like a peninsula that goes out into the lake. So I'm gonna have to ask someone. Great Salt Lake. It's a closed basin lake, meaning it does not have an outlet. So think of like Mono Lake. So basically water goes into it, and then I guess because of the precipitation and evaporation, it leaves a lot of salt behind. My understanding is that nothing really lives in that either. Here's a map. This portrays it more like an island. I'm guessing this is what when I was driving through here, I'm guessing that's what I noticed, but it was like a strip of land, and on either side it was just dry. There was no water, so it didn't feel islandish, but maybe when the water's higher it might. But basically that's where we're at. All right, so now I was looking at this map over here, and there's a road that goes all the way to the, I'm gonna call it a peninsula today. Maybe it's an island other times, but we're gonna take that road. See, I don't know how long it'll take, but we'll see if we can find any bison. I overheard a lady ask another patron if they knew where all the buffalo are. And they said, go down, there's like a main road I saw on a map that I was mentioning when I was walking down, and I was right. My suspicion is right. They're on the other side, like the opposite end apparently. So that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna go see if we can spot us a bison, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, or a whole herd. I assume that's the right terminology for bison. Is it herd? So there's some road that goes down the whole length of this island, island-like. I think I see how it could be portrayed as an island. Maybe it was originally. Boy, I'm a bad tour guide today on this one. I'm ill-prepared for this, but I can tell you coming in here through the entrance, I was confused. I was like, oh, I'm already here? And what's the island? It's like you're just driving through. It's like this. It's almost like grass and like marshy looking stuff. So I'm guessing it's not like a bridge. It's like a land bridge, probably man-made, I'm guessing. But the water level's so low, I take it that it doesn't feel island-like. I want to say it's this road here. East Side Drive, maybe. Let's see. There's a historic ranch down here, it says. Which is, you know, I like my historic ranches. The historic Fielding Garr Ranch. I don't see any ranch like right here, but I'm sure we'll get to it. All right, I think we are now on the road that takes us to the tip of the island. I'll play along and call it an island. And I just want to see, okay, we're going into a fenced area. It's like Jurassic Park here, except it's Bison Park. I wonder if that's fences here to keep them in. And I wonder why that's why you don't see any on my side of the island. They keep them away from the campers. I don't know if I'd want to wake up next to a bison nosing around my campground. I'm now starting to see how this probably is an island with a land bridge now connecting it. So I can buy it now that I'm seeing it from all angles. Well, this isn't too bad. I wasn't sure what I was going to do while I was here. Thought I was just gonna set up the tent and maybe head down to the beach, which I'm gonna take us down to the beach access near where I'm at. I'd like to touch the water of Salt Lake if possible, but I don't know if that's gonna be possible. I don't even know anything about it. Is it safe to swim in? I don't know. You don't see anybody boating or kayaking in it. Is it like the Salton Sea? Something nasty like that? Who knows? We're just doing a scouting mission today, folks. I didn't promise a knowledgeable tour. I'll zoom in a moment, but I found the bison. There's many of them. They just look like brown dots from up here. But I've seen them all the way up and down. Sorry about this very fierce wind. Wow. I think there's some kind of a ranch or something here. I don't know if you can get closer to them. I'll zoom in with my lens. But yeah, there's hundreds of them all up and down the eastern shore of the island. You can't even see that way, but as I was driving, I started to spot them, and there's some closer than others, but let's try to zoom in a little bit, and then we'll see if we can't get closer to get some really nice photos safely. Not one of those types that's want to mess around with this. I don't know how well you can see. The sun's so bright I can't really see the screen on my camera to see how good it came out. I have another lens that we can get even closer. But I'm wondering if everybody keeps turning into this ranch, so I wonder if there's like a fence or some safe way to do this. And I can't tell if that's water out there or just like white sand. I think it's water. And I don't know if you can see, but that looks like downtown of some sort, like straight ahead towards the center, way across the haze. And we'll look this way too. There's really no animals this way. But I saw some dirt roads that go to like, one thing went to some old homestead. Lots to explore, I think, on this island. I think I underestimated what this was gonna be like, and I'm digging it. I didn't like it at first, I'll be honest. I was like, this is an ugly place. But it's not, it's beautiful. Fascinating. Now let's drive into this ranch and scout that out. A few people turned in and they haven't come out yet, so hopefully that's a sign that it's worth seeing. Okay, so this is the historic ranch also. That's what I was wondering. I like a good historic ranch. 133 years of ranching history, it says. So you can see a bunch of rusted old farming implements spread about here, and looks like some old buildings we can go check out. It's a nice property down here, all these beautiful trees. Picnic tables, I guess, if you want to picnic. Looks like maybe an old ranch house of some sort too. I don't know anything about it actually, so hopefully there's some signs that teach us. And more of what I presume are historic buildings down here. This is fun. I like when I'm not really prepared, because then everything's kind of a surprise, and when it exceeds expectations like this does. I'm assuming this is okay to go in. There aren't really any signs that say what this stuff is. It's an old bathroom, so it's a toilet. Hopefully this isn't someone's private quarters. I don't think it is. I think this is just part of the ranching operation. The door is locked, but you can kind of see in there. I don't know if there's like a brochure or anything. There's really no interpretive signs that tell you anything about this place. So I couldn't tell you the dates, years, or anything. I mean, to me it looks probably 20th century based on my travels and what I see. Like a cellar? It is, it's locked. Some old bottles though up in that window. Is this like a cellar? I'm guessing. It's underground, so this is how they used to keep things cool. We've seen things like this before, but there's a padlock on that one also, so I'm guessing it's like a cellar for storing jarred goods and stuff like that. I'm sure there was hard work out here, but you would have to think after a hard day's work, just being in a peaceful place like this, you probably felt pretty good some days. And there are a lot of bison out there. I can make out their tails flapping at this point, but they're still pretty hard to see. So our best bet is, it looks like there are people walking that way, so maybe that's where we're gonna get our best view of them. I actually see people at the far end there, so that actually gives me a lot of hope that it's a perfect viewing area for the bison. I'm gonna peek in here really quick now. If the little mini crowd is cleared out, we'll see. I think you can walk up there, and there were some signs that I thought that might tell us a little bit of info. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Oh, this is cool. The roof looks pretty modern, but the beams on the inside look like they might have age. This workbench certainly does look like a relic from an older time, and there's lots of various equipment that looks old sitting on it. There's no air conditioning here, but it's amazing how much cooler it is in this structure than even out in the trees over there in the shade. Oh, there's a brochure for the ranch here. Looks like 1848 is the original date. I don't have time though to give like a complete tour. They have a mobile version that you can scan, but we're just gonna casually, I just wanna see some bison at this point. So here's some interesting history about, I guess there were sheep here is what they were ranching. Mainly, I thought, oh, did they like move bison out here? But it looks like there's a lot of history from the 1930s, 1940s, and 1950s. probably before this was a state park. And I wonder if these were the stations where they would put the sheep so they could shear them and harvest the wool. That's my best guess. The pictures made it look like. All right, let's go see if we could spy us a bison or two. I imagine if I can get there with the lens that I have on my other camera, we should get some good shots. I do have a really big lens that's in the truck, but I really need that on a tripod. And I'm being lazy. At this point, I earned it. I've been driving. I drove 5-6 hours today with stops, had to break down camp. We're gonna have to set camp up again, so you'll forgive me for what might appear to some to be laziness. I wouldn't call it laziness, I would call it I'm tired. It's really pretty though. Like, this does look old. The wood definitely has some age to it. Now coming out here, you get more bison, but we're gonna go as far as we can this way where I thought I saw people, probably at the furthest point. And there are horses too. I love horses. Horses are one of my favorite animals, yet I know very little about them. Hey guys! You guys staying cool? Be hard to stay cool out here, wouldn't it? There is some water here. You guys probably get some water at times. And what do you guys think of all those bison right out beyond? You guys all get along with each other? These horses aren't paying me any mind. I know humans that act like this. They should be ashamed of themselves. Oh, what does that mean? Is that just a thing they do, or is that a form of communication? There are no signs saying don't touch them or whatever if they come over the fence. So chances are they're friendly. I think that's where their water is though. Are you thirsty? Oh yeah. You thirst. I'm gonna go check out your bison friends. Don't be jealous. I don't think they care at all. Ooh, I heard something go. Hopefully I'm not gonna sneak up on one of these things. Sound like dinosaurs. I don't know if you're supposed to be outside the fence here or not. Maybe we'll catch somebody in a bad moment. Oh, you hear them? They don't look like they're paying people any mind. I don't see any of the warning signs that they talk about in the brochure if you're going to get charged. Basically what they say is, first, if one stops and just is looking at you, that's like warning number one. And then it kind of transitions into their tail kind of arches up slightly, and that's kind of like warning two. And then when the tail is completely like arched, that means you're about to get charged.
Oh, it's rolling it's rolling on the floor.
But if they start to roam this way, I will back off. Oh yeah, that thing was taking a dust bath. You hear that? I didn't know they made that noise like that. It's very bassy. It's almost like you can feel it. Sounds like a lion. There's lots of evidence that they come all the way up here. You gotta watch your step. But yeah, I think this is a pretty safe distance. Another one was rolling around in the dirt. This is really cool. They're everywhere. Anyway, I delivered you bison. I decided to come up here for the shade as I walk back to the truck. And there's lots of cool old farming equipment all about, and there's a lot of signs here. Here's where all the signage is that tells you about it all. I'm just blowing through. But I got what I wanted, which was to see animals. Here's some classics. Look at that. I wonder what Slim would think if I traded him in for this. It's a classic. Maybe this one would be a better trade-in. Or better yet, let's just get a horse and one of these little wagons. That's all you need. Okay, so I'm satisfied. This actually exceeds every expectation. I had no idea this existed before today, and I really enjoyed it. Like, you get the bison, you get views of a dry, very dry lake, but an old ranching operation, and it shows its age. It's got some antiques in here. So just my speed and lots of shade, which I'm not finding where I'm gonna set up. But it is cooling off though. It is a lot less oppressive than it was when we set out. So I think it's probably time to head back, and we'll see if we can find that beach access and see if I can set a finger in the lake to say I did it. Anyway, that was awesome. I really enjoyed that. It really helped to round off this episode, I thought. Better than what I thought I'd find out here. I don't know. I didn't do any research because I didn't have time. So I just thought this whole park was all about just views of Salt Lake. But there's way much more to it than I ever would have thought. All I really did is just research the campground, because I'm kind of just passing through. I'm only here tonight. So it wasn't like I was coming here to do a full episode on this place. There's a dirt road that goes down that way. I mean, there's probably some fun dirt road driving in the park too. I saw a couple dirt roads that I'd like to come back. So I'm gonna keep this one on the list. I think we did a little sampler and I saw enough to know that I like it. And there's the final product, what I decided to do. And the tent fit there pretty well. Had to get creative there with some rocks in the front, but I like it. It's definitely worth it, I think, for the view. Although I do wonder if being up higher would have been better. But whatever, I'm happy. It's starting to cool off a little bit. So I imagine this evening it'll be kind of chilly. Now I'm starting to get in the mode of let's settle in. I got plenty of time left. I can make dinner at my leisure. I don't want to call the video just yet because I might try actually for the first time a night lapse tonight with a GoPro. I think I might set it up on that little aluminum table there. I don't know. I'll have to try something out and see, but put my small Jackery out there and let it take pictures all night. It is pretty hazy though, but not really cloudy, but hazy. So I don't know how it will work. I don't know if there's a lot of light pollution. It seems like all of the residential's on the other side. So hopefully it's a good spot for night sky watching. Last night at Coral Pink was beautiful. I saw the Milky Way, got up in the middle of the night to use the restroom, but unfortunately there is light pollution from a bathroom right near me, so I didn't think to set it up, but I probably should have. That's all right. We might give it a try tonight. So if I do, that'll be part of this video. But I certainly want to go down to the beach with you, and we'll wait closer till sunset, at the very least, to say our goodbyes. And then if I do the night lapse, it'll be a bonus at the end. I don't know if I'm gonna do it, so you have to stick around. Not trying to play games. All right, I'm gonna go down and see if we can find beach access. My worry is that the beach is eroded, or retreated, or the lake is retreated rather. And before we go, I needed something cold, ice cold. I've recently taken a liking to these things. I used to be a soda drinker before cancer. And now after cancer, because of my taste, I still drink sodas every once in a while. I know they're really bad for you, so actually let me just go check one thing, but before I do, these things are more refreshing. They do have sugar in them, but not, it's only 90 calories per this whole container, so I would argue better than a soda, less sugar than a soda, probably about half the sugar, but for whatever reason, my taste buds work well with this post-cancer treatment. But I've tried the strawberry agua fresca. This is the lime, so I've not had this one yet. Do a taste test for you. Ooh, that is wonderful. They're both good, the strawberry and the lime. I think there's a mango also, but I would highly recommend that one. I needed that. I'm pleased to see I'm not the only one in a tent out here. There's a couple other people that have shown up. So I'm not the only crazy one, although I don't think I'm crazy. Like I tend to look at the nighttime weather reports to decide if it's feasible to camp. If it's gonna be in the 90s at night or something, no way. But if it's gonna get to the 60s and the 50s, I mean, that is perfect. But I just don't like to hang out at the campsite during the day when it's hot. But from here on out, just so you know, I mean, we're heading into Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, so this is probably going to be my hottest day of the whole trip. Yesterday would probably be the second hottest. And then from here, I expect it to cool down, and it could even get into the 40s at night where I'm going to be going, so, and it probably will. Last I looked. Perfect camping weather. Alright, this says beach access. We've been to Buffalo Point. We saw White Rock Bay from up on that point, and I actually saw way more than I was thinking. I honestly thought I was going to be hanging out right here, and that was all I was going to do on this episode. So just to show you how much extra we got done. I felt like I needed to add something special though to the video because we just stopped at I love historic sites and plaques, but you don't really get the full visuals when you do that. So let's see. I'm wondering if the beach the water used to come up to this point and now it's receded. That's why I'm skeptical. Are we gonna actually be able to walk out to the water's edge? That's my goal, but you could see down here, I don't know where this even goes. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, I do see people walking way out there, but man, we got to hike, I guess. I was hoping for an easy time, but are these rentals here? I don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's not like wet and muddy down there. I got my brand new shoes I just bought. And yeah, I do intend for them to get dirtied up with time, but not this fast. Oh, those are just restrooms. It looks like really nice. They look like little rental cabins to me, but. All right, I just want to go to the water's edge. I feel it's obligatory. I do see people way out there walking towards it, so I think we'll get there in short order. And then I'm gonna go back, eat dinner, and then start thinking about settling in. Let's do this one last thing. We got this. If you've made it this far, you're my favorite. It looks close, but now it's looking further away the closer I get. See, I'm hoping once we get past this spot that it is harder, more compact. And I imagine at some point the water was way up here. All right, let's see. Hope I was right. Oh yeah, it's easier to walk on this. Your feet don't sink in as much. All right, We're gonna cross this thing and probably hit more sand, I imagine. Smells down here too. I made it to the shores of the Great Salt Lake. Mmm, yummy. Look at all these weird bugs. Watch this. You can actually hear them. It sounds like wind. What the heck is that? That is freaky. I don't like. It's like a plague of locusts here at this lake where nothing lives. In the water, I don't think. I don't think there are any fish in here. I feel like I gotta stick my... What the heck are these things? Those aren't the no-see-ums that I read about, are they? That bite you? They're not bothering me though. But I don't think I can stick my hand in the water here though, because I gotta stick it through that. Oh well. Ugh. I don't like this, man. At least they spread. We didn't come here to look at these. Look at that. It looks like a shadow or something, like smoke. Smoke on the water. I have no idea what the heck this is about. Look at that. It's like water almost. They move like waves. Mino Lake. I guess you can go in the water. I'm not. I didn't come prepared for that. All right, I'm proud that I came this far to the water's edge. It's just like glass. It's like no movement at all. What the heck, man? I don't know if you're picking up the sound of these things, but it's like a cross between like a swarm of bees and wind. And it just moves with you. I don't even feel them on my legs or anything. They're not like bothering me, but I'm surrounded by them. I think I like the lake seen from a distance. It's not as bad smelling down here as I would think. It's a little smelly, but not horribly so. It's just these weird bugs that are just such an oddity. I've never seen anything like that. I bet you'd float well in this though, in the salt water. I've heard. But we made it. I'm happy, I guess. I mean, that's a long walk. Don't kid yourself. It says beach access, but you're going for a hike. I didn't think this was gonna be like chilling next to the ocean or anything like that, but it's just odd. It is a unique experience, I mean, with the bugs, but just this lake just feels dead. I mean, there's birds and wildlife, don't get me wrong. Things live here. Obviously, these bugs live here, but the lake is just so oddly still. Probably just today there's not much breeze, I guess, and you always see like reflections. It's like always like glass. So it probably makes for good photos, but all right, I'm gonna leave this weirdness. I've had enough of these insects. So they don't bother, but they're like, you can see them if you look carefully. They just look like shadows. It's one of the freakier things I've experienced, but they just part, like, you know what I mean? It's so weird. They don't bother, but they're just freaky. And we'll get some more views of the lake as we walk, but the sun's starting to go down. I got dinner to make, and we knocked this out. I gotta go all the way back through the sand. Whew, I am back. That was a workout, actually, walking through that deep sand, and I had my hands full. Wasn't that enjoyable, actually? Stinky and weird bugs, but I did it. And now it's time to eat dinner. I'm heating up some fresh soup that Amy made, my wife. Before the trip, I had frozen it, and I've got one more serving of this for tomorrow night. It's beef and tomato. Acini di pepe is the name of the dish. I think it's an Italian soup, but it's quite good. There's the final result. of the soup. It's really hot. And I used my finest chinette tonight. I didn't want to do any dishes. I have to do this, basically. That's easy. This cleans up real good. But it's a tasty one, but it's hot, and that paper, probably need 2 bowls, actually. All right, let's eat. I had to double bowl it because it was hot. Still is now that heat's coming through the bottom of this. Chinette is not good for regulating heat, but it is nice to not have to do dishes. So if you went camping with me, you know I only use the finest chinette. This is so good. It's very hearty, and you know, if you're new to camping and you travel like me and you have a cooler and you're not too fancy, what it works really well is like make soup, freeze it like in a Tupperware container, make sure it's sealed nicely, and then toss it in your cooler the morning you leave, when it's frozen solid, and it helps to keep everything in the cooler cold too. So you get like free cooling, and then after a day or so it'll be thawed enough to heat it up. It heats fast, it eats fast. It's good, and it helps hydrate. Amy, this hits the spot, and I'm enjoying it right here, right now. Thanks for making it. Well, folks, I've eaten dinner now, and we're enjoying the sunset here. So clearly you get a good view of the sunset from these sites. And it's cooled off fantastically. Well, my friends, we did another full day from tent campsite to tent campsite to the edge of the Great Salt Lake. We saw bison, and we drove a long way. So, woo, I'm tired. Time to end this one, folks. Thanks for joining me on another epic road trip day. Day number 2 in the bag, but we still have almost 3 weeks more of this, but we're doing great. Come back next week when we have another one of these, and see you then. All right, I have a little bonus feature for you. Going to try a night lapse with my GoPro Hero 12, my very first time. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know what kind of light pollution, if any, to expect. Maybe it'll be spectacular and a surprise in the morning. But I'm going to basically aim it over this way and kind of up. I hear it's better to have some things in the foreground or the photo, so probably something like that. I don't know how it's going to come out though. Maybe I should aim higher. Anyway, we'll see. We have to start somewhere. And here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use this handy table that's here, this aluminum table, and I've got the GoPro, not Jackery, my old Jackery, which is still kicking and going strong. I've got it powering the GoPro, and I have a battery in the GoPro also that I'll leave in there, but essentially that is the setup. So I shouldn't run out of power, and I got overkill when it comes to SD cards, so no worries there either. Anyway, time for me to get in the tent, back up some video clips, and try to fall asleep when I can. Hopefully this goes well.